Discipline brings with it a measure of strength and confidence in the corresponding arts. That is a quote I read in the Discourses of Epictetus. And it is something I've been thinking about for a long time. It is in his passage on nerves. It is a passage that stuck out to me because I've always wanted to get over my nerves. I've always wanted to be super confident. And something you have to learn about Stoicism is all these things take time and it takes application. I've learned this along the way after learning about the dichotomy of control. It sounded interesting, and then when I applied it into my life for months or years, I started to notice that the effects of these quotes, the teachings that the great Stoics were teaching, started to have real world effects on my life. And so when I read on nerves, I thought, if I can apply this to my life, Epictetus is promising that I can eliminate all nerves. And that sounded very interesting. So you might think, or you may not think, that I am confident. I'm able to go on interviews on TV. I'm able to do the podcast. I'm able to do videos, that kind of thing, meet with famous people. But still, I am not where I want to be. I have a desire to be like Jim Carrey, going on stage doing the wackiest, craziest things. And it's not that I want to do these things. It's that I want to be so boundless and free. And the Stoics teach of freedom. And this is a kind of freedom. I want to be that free that I have no limits, no restraints, no strings to tie me down, so that I can do what I want to do in the way that I want to do it. Now, I don't mean I want to do some crazy things. I want to be able to go to places and speak my truth in total perfection. My perfection, anyway. There's no such thing as true perfection. But I want to be able to show my truth and share things in the most honest and authentic way, which takes a lot of confidence. And nerves, I've noticed this when I film anything and there's people watching me, I contract a little bit. And you may not be able to notice it yourself, but when I watch these things back and I'm aware, there's an audience there, I wasn't fully loose. So I thought, this passage, I'm going to read it over and over again. I'm going to soak it into my life. And already I'm starting to notice that the nerves are just washing away. And I did this with the passage on death and why we shouldn't fear death, because the fear of death was crippling to me. It was something that made me worry every night. It kept me up every night. It held me back so much in life. And when I kept just going over this passage, these truths that the Stoics wrote of, my fear eventually washed away completely. And now I see death as a good thing. It's a part of nature. It's beautiful. So now with nerves, I'm going to explain to you how you can eliminate your nerves. Today's episode is powered by Huel. Let's jump into the episode. So Epictetus uses the analogy of a musician. This musician is, say it's a guitarist. This musician is very well skilled with the guitar. In fact, they have mastered the guitar and they are super confident. They can happily play any song. They know it's okay. Even if they make mistakes, they can pick up and carry on. It's going to sound beautiful. They're going to enjoy it. They're going to have a great time and they're going to produce some beautiful music. But as soon as this person is put in front of a crowd, suddenly they're nervous to do the exact same thing. Because it's the same action, whether you're alone or in front of people. You're just playing the guitar. And suddenly they become so flustered, so nervous that they might actually never play in front of the crowd, which will hold them back from things in life, their dreams, their goals, their means of income. If they want to be a musician that earns money, then they can no longer earn money because they can't even get on stage and play the guitar. So the nerves are holding them back from doing these things. And it's the exact same thing. Playing in front of a crowd is the exact same as playing on your own. And the reason they're so confident at playing the guitar is because they've practiced and practiced playing the guitar. Because discipline brings with it a measure of strength and correspondence in and confidence in the corresponding arts. So discipline in playing guitar has brought them confidence and strength in playing the guitar. So Epictetus goes on to say, the reason you are nervous to play in front of people is because you are not disciplined. You have not practiced, you have not studied, you have not learned what the crowd means, what a crowd is, what it means to play in front of a crowd. And this really confused me. I was thinking, how can you be disciplined at learning the crowd? How can you study these things? What does it even mean to learn these things? Because at face value, a crowd is just a bunch of people. So is that what I would reply to Epictetus, say, a crowd is a group of people watching me play a guitar? But that's not what it is. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to step away from the analogy Epictetus used of the musician, and I'm going to use my own personal life experience. And one of those things is making these videos. More importantly, the Instagram videos I make, because I used to get nervous to post them because I was worried about what people would say. And in a sense, relating to the analogy of Epictetus, the people online are the crowd. Epictetus, the guitarist, was playing to like a few hundred people. I am talking to tens to hundreds of thousands, and not right in front of me, but their judgment still weighed on me. Their criticism weighed on me. Their potential criticism, the potential thoughts and feedback weighed a lot on me. And it always held me back from actually speaking my truth. So my fear was not recording a video. My fear was not posting it. My fear was of being poorly received, of receiving bad feedback. But why? I am the one trying. Who are the people that are receiving me poorly? What do these people matter? As Marcus Aurelius said, who are these people really? The kind of things that they pay attention to, the kind of things that they critique, the kind of things they like, the kind of things they hate. These are just people. They're not the ones in the arena. And, if they are not helping me, if they're not a loved one helping me, and they're someone that are critiquing me, the thing is with criticism, I've started to say, is it can be useful. Criticism can be useful, even if it's hurtful. So I've started to go, it's criticism, it can help me. I get comments on these videos saying, hey, don't do this, don't do this. I pay attention to them, but I don't really care about them. I pay attention to them and go, that's quite helpful. That's nonsense. That's good. That's bad. And the criticism of these people can actually help. But then if it's just negative words, putting you down, telling you can't do it, laughing at you, mocking you, why do these people care? You're the one trying, you're doing good. These people that you're paying attention to are people that believe it's okay to go online and say hurtful things, say hateful things, that offer no benefit to the victim. It offers no steps or guidance. Because I think criticism is very helpful. When people say, you've done this wrong, but you can do this better, I pay attention to that. If someone says, hey, you look weird, your voice is stupid, these kind of things, I can't change the way I look. Well, I can try, but I don't really care. Especially not to please some random person that thinks I look weird. Or if my voice sounds weird, as long as it's clear and you can understand what I'm saying, I really couldn't care. So these people that think it's okay to go online, why would I pay any attention to them and care what their thoughts are? And why these people that are so mean, so disrespectful, these people that you wouldn't get along with, these people that you wouldn't like, these people that you wouldn't hang around with, why are they more important than your dream? Why do you give up on your dream and pursuing your truth because these people that you wouldn't even get along with, these people that don't matter to you, because they've said some hurtful things online? It's your truth, it's your dream. Pursue it. If someone really loves you, they'll help you, they'll guide you. And even if they criticize you, they'll be doing it in a helpful manner, in a constructive manner. So the reason you fear things, the reason you get nervous about things, is because you're trying to control things outside of your control. And life becomes a lot easier when you start to pay attention and focus on the things you do actually control. So when I'm giving these videos, the thing I'm worried about, the thing that weighs on me most, not anymore, but what it did, is how it's to be received, what criticism I'll get, how many views it gets, how many likes it gets, does this get shared, Will this perform really bad? Will this get negative comments? Will this get loads of downvotes, dislikes? I don't control any of those things. And it makes me nervous because I don't control it. I have no control over this. So essentially, I'm just praying to the universe, asking for good favor. Why would the universe give me good favor? The universe has no mind to care. The universe doesn't care about anything. The only thing that will help in my favor is by performing well and doing what I know is good and teaching well in my lesson. So I stopped paying attention to the superfluous, the materialistic, the expectations, the responses. I don't pay attention to that. I mean, I do. I love the interaction. I really like it. So I pay attention in some sense that I can build community, but I don't put my weight of my emotions on it. I don't put my expectations on it. If it gets 0 comments, I perform to the best of my ability in this video. So what I give all my attention to, and this is what gives me confidence, is teaching. Is my ability, which the thing I control right now, is to be fully present. Because if my mind is idle, then I'm not giving all my attention to the lesson I'm giving. So I focus on what I control, my attention right now, being present, being energetic, being upbeat, because I control this in this moment. I can give my energy in this moment to the lesson. So I'm not nervous because I go, what can I control? I do the best of my ability. And if at the end of that episode, I go, I kind of lacked in this field. Maybe I was teaching a little bit about Buddhism or Taoism. And I go, maybe I didn't learn enough. Maybe I was trying to give a lesson by Plato or Socrates. And I go, maybe I didn't study enough for these things. There's no need to be nervous. I go back and study. And next time I give a lesson, I'm equipped with the same tools I had before, now extra knowledge. It gives me a confidence. I feel good. A quick word from our sponsor, Huel. I really like Huel. When I was writing my book, I was using Huel to power me through every single day. When I had my daily greens, when I had my meals, when I had my shakes, it stopped me from going to the shop, buying a load of rubbish, buying a load of unhealthy food, wasting loads of money. And these things do add up. Those quick journeys to the shop every day, the money adds up, the unhealthy foods add up, the wasted time adds up. So if I ever get those cravings, I grab a Huel and it fills my cravings. I feel good. It tastes delicious. It's quick and easy. And if you have any interest in the Huel products, then check the link in the description. Let's get back to the episode. So once you let go of the things you don't control and you hold on to the things you do control, you get this sense of confidence. And Epictetus says, first of all, Epictetus explained the dichotomy of control. The thing you control your inner works, how you respond and react to the world, the opinions you make of the world. You do not control the external. So anything that external happens to you, you don't control it. You go inward and say, this is how I respond. This is what I control. But Epictetus talks about confidence and caution. And he says we should be confident in that which is out of our control. Because it's out of our control. We have to be confident that it's happening, it's going well, it's going in the destined order. You know, the universe is looking after us. Now what we do is be cautious about that we do control. We pay attention to that we do control. Our opinions, our motivations, our desires, our aversions. We're fully aware of this. We know where to put these things. So there's caution where we're putting our energy, where we're putting our focus, where we're putting our presence, what opinions we're forming, what aversion, what things we're averse to, what things we desire. And when you start to work like this, like I said at the start, it takes time. When you start to work like this, you start to notice that these nerves that you're getting, they're unimportant. And I know that sounds crazy. If someone told me that many years ago when I was having a panic attack, I would have laughed at them. I would have said they're stupid and then gone back to my panic attack feeling nervous. I probably wouldn't even spoke to them because I'm too nervous to speak to you. Anxiety is way too high. So there's a story of Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, meeting King Antigonus, or King Antigonus meeting Zeno of Citium. And King Antigonus was the great king, very powerful man, it's only natural for people in that era to be nervous to meet him. Imagine you're meeting the most famous person there is. You'd be nervous. You know, you're meeting The Rock, you're meeting Adele, you're meeting Kim Kardashian, you're meeting Kendrick Lamar. I'm trying to think of famous people. I don't know why my mind's drawing blanks. But anyway, you're meeting these people. And if you care about these people, you look up to these people, you understand how famous they are, you get nervous. So people were nervous to meet King Antigonus, but not Zeno. Zeno wasn't bothered. In fact, King Antigonus was nervous to meet Zeno. And Zeno was just a philosopher. Zeno wasn't no great king or anything. And King Antigonus never got nervous to meet people. Why is this? Because one of them was trying to control things out of their control, and the other was not. King Antigonus was trying to control how he was perceived by Zeno. He wanted to make a good impression on Zeno, and he was nervous about this because he didn't control how he was perceived. He could do everything right, but Zeno could still go, "You're an idiot. You're no great Stoic like me," which he wouldn't have done. But Zeno wasn't trying to control anything. In fact, with the power that King Antigonus had, he had power over the world. There was nothing that Zeno valued that the king had power over. So in a sense, the king had no power over Zeno of Citium. And Epictetus talks about this, the king may believe that he has power over him. He can sentence him to death. He can sentence him to exile. He can tie him up, chain him up. And these are paraphrasing Epictetus. But Epictetus says, even with all this, you don't control anything I value. You don't control anything that I control. You have no power over my will. You have no power over my internal works. I can still form my own opinion. I can still decide who I want to be, where I want to focus on. You don't control that. This is my world. This is my fortress. It is impenetrable. The only thing that can penetrate what you control is your own mind. So you have to be careful, and that's what Epictetus talks about. You have to be cautious of this internal. You have to pay attention. It's powerful. What's so powerful about it is every single human has the same gift. It is the greatest gift, and you can use it. It's the limits of it. The limitations are boundless. It's limitless. You just have to be careful where you're putting the energy. So then Epictetus goes on to say, he's having a dialogue, and the person says to him, "But I'm not nervous about making a bad impression. I'm not nervous about this. You're right. I understand the crowd is just a bunch of people that don't really matter. I'm just focusing on what I actually doing. That's the important thing. And yeah, you're right. They have no control over that which I actually value. But Epictetus, what if I make a mistake? What if I say their name wrong? What if I go, hello, Sarah. I meant to say Sarah. How embarrassing." Epictetus says, would you be nervous to write the name? Would you be nervous to write Sarah? You're just on your own, you're writing Sarah, you're writing a letter. Would you be nervous to write Sarah? You wouldn't, because you've studied writing and you've studied spelling. Would you be nervous to read the word Sarah? You wouldn't, because you've read thousands of hours. You understand the word. You know how to write it, you know how to read it. You also know how to say it. But you're nervous to go to this person and say their name. Why? Because you haven't studied in this field enough. And this is something I learned. You keep meeting people. I was always nervous about using people's names wrong, but I decided someone's name is the best sound to them. It's very important to use people's names. So I'm working with people, and people from different countries that have names that I've never heard before, and pronunciations that are very new to me. So before I'd meet these people, I'd study their name. I'd go on Google, find out how to say it. I'd find many sources on how to say their name correctly. And then the first thing I do when I meet them, I say hello, and I use their name. And I keep using their name. And over time, you get confident at using people's names, at saying people's names, because practice makes progress. Small steps every day go great distance. So The point is that it is discipline in that field that creates confidence and creates strength. So you don't just get good at playing the guitar. I didn't just get good or better. I'm not saying I'm good. I didn't just get better at giving these lessons. You know, when I first started this, believe it or not, I used to just try and read books out loud. I would hold the discourses in my hand, read a passage, and try read it out loud. And even that was embarrassing for me. Even that, I'd make mistakes. I'd feel nervous just to read aloud in a room on my own. That was many years ago. And then I started to create my own lessons to an empty room. And then I started giving lessons in return. And then I started helping people. Then I started giving lessons on Instagram stories, then on Instagram, then on YouTube, and so on and so forth. But I did this every day. And the discipline there gave me confidence. Now when I pull out a camera and go to film, there's no nervousness. But, you know, I filmed some reels and now I'm purposely trying to film them in public. I'm not trying to be obnoxious. I'm just trying to push my comfort zone. And I film them in public, and I'm not being overly loud or anything. You can see my reels, you can see what they look like. But some of them are in public and people are walking around me. And I noticed when I was filming these a few videos ago, I just didn't perform as well. It just didn't come across as well because there was the nerves getting in the way. So I keep doing them. And then it goes away. And it's a powerful feeling. Chasing that discomfort leads to so much growth. So I'm sure if I was to stand on a big stage with thousands of people to give one of these lessons, I'm sure I might not perform as well as I would in front of here because there's some thing getting in the way because I haven't practiced at performing in front of huge crowds. But I understand what a crowd is. I understand what I control. I understand what is important to focus on. So I'm sure I'll perform a million times better than I did before I read this passage. So this is from book 2 of the Discourses of Epictetus. This is the book I've got, if anyone wants to buy it. It is Epictetus, Discourses and Selected Writings. It is a Penguin classic, translated and edited with an introduction by Robert Dobbin. I really recommend this if you wanted to learn more Stoicism. This is just something else. It just requires a little bit more knowledge on Stoicism than the Meditations does. So that is on Nerves by Epictetus, and that is it for day 34 of 100 Stoic School with the author of The Everyday Stoic, myself, William Mulligan. I hope you're learning a lot. Subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss episode 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, all the way up to 1 million, wherever I get. But if you want to support what I'm doing, please give a like, subscribe, and maybe if you want to help someone else and help me, share Stoic School with a friend, a partner, a relative, someone at work. It might help them. And that's what we like. We like to help people. So, and to my, just a quick promotion to my American audience and my Dutch audience, just so you know, my book, The Everyday Stoic 7 Rules for a Good Life, is available in States and Canada. It looks slightly different. It looks like this, just so you know. It's available. You can go on all your bookstore websites. You can go on Amazon.com, or you can go into a bookstore and you'll find it there. And then for my Dutch audience, it's here. It's the same book. It's by me. If you want to read my works, it's The Simple Rules for the Good Life, The Everyday Stoic. It's my guide to the good life. It's kind of me condensing my 10 years of Stoicism with my personal stories, my personal journey, teachings from the Stoics, but also teachings from Buddhism and Taoism, that kind of thing, all mixed into one, just how I got my growth from being this anxious, scared, frightened, feeling weak anyway, person into becoming the person I am today, which is balanced. I'm happy, I feel good, I feel confident. So thank you for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day.